There's a saying that in order to reach your full potential, one must learn to play to win instead of not to lose. Now, right off the bat, that doesn't really sound like it makes sense because isn't playing not to lose playing to win? Well, not necessarily. But before we get to that, first, we need to start off with the foundation. Every person should ask themselves, what is reaching my full potential? Because there are different associations that people have with that when it comes to success or winning in life. Most of the world would define that as having tons of money, resources, fame, or some form of recognition. And those things aren't bad or even untrue as being an aspect of success, but other principles like having core values, peace of mind, your family, and having authority over your life have all taken a back seat in the minds of most people. Therefore, those that can see past the culture of propaganda in regards to the defining of success are often labeled as outcasts or rebels that don't fit into the crowd. However, there was always something I noticed when it came to these types of people. They were always the artist of society, whether it be a painter, writer, musician, philosopher, or even a filmmaker like myself. These are the ones who naturally rebelled or chose to make their own path instead of just listening to who the world told them to be. This, I believe, is the highest form of authenticity, which is something that an artist needs to express themselves in a wholehearted way. It reminds me of a quote I heard a while back that you either create who you are or the world will do it for you. And I fully believe in that. This is why it's so important to embrace the artist within, because those who dare to create freely are those who dare to feel, and more importantly, who dare to live. And I believe that this is the essence of the human experience. Now, finding your place in a world that doesn't fit you is extremely hard to navigate, and I only came to understand these truths about my own life through my own journey of becoming an artist. So let's take it back to where this all started so you can understand why I think the way that I do. North Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is my roots. This is where Joel Mackey came from. This is what molded me into what I am today. Growing up here, I didn't have too many positive influences around me outside of my parents. And I was a pretty weird kid. I mean, I still am pretty weird, but back then I was extremely quiet, and I would always just watch and study the people around me. And all of my siblings were a lot older too, so I spent a lot of time alone, just my imagination to have fun or create fun around me. And around this time is when I started making like little sports edits, fan-made music videos, and other types of videos as just a hobby to express myself. Creating videos is just something I gravitated towards as a way of just releasing this energy that I couldn't seem to put anywhere else, even when I tried to. I played football and ran track since I was a kid and even competed at the Division I level. I always loved sports, but there was something in me that reminded me, I couldn't fit into that box of just being an athlete as a career, no matter how much I enjoyed playing the sport itself. I was never the most book smart kid either, or even good with numbers or anything, but I was very intuitive with the energies around me, and I looked at the world through a deeper lens than most people were even aware of. This is what led to such a feeling of mental and emotional isolation from other people that I had a hard time accepting my calling to step out from the crowd and really show the full me to the world. At that time, I just didn't want to stand out so much from other people because of how awkward it made me feel. I really just wanted to be comfortable, and I wanted everyone to like me. So if someone didn't like me or approve of me, it was harder for me to just move on from that without overthinking it so much. This was the wounded inner child in me that learned to suppress my authenticity as a way of feeling safe in a world that was pushing me to be something that I wasn't. I see now that there was never anything wrong with me. I just put walls up to protect myself from an environment that would never truly accept me for who I am. Now, by the time I reached the end of high school and was midway through college, it got to a point where I had to choose whether I would listen to what everyone else wanted my life to be and feel empty on the inside, or just do what was in my heart in my soul and break out of that comfort zone that I was in. There's a quote actually that I heard around that time that I really needed to hear during that time, and it says, "You're either at peace with the world and at war with yourself, or at peace with yourself and at war with the world." That's something that really stuck with me during that time. It still does to this day. This is around the time COVID and all the mandates and everything else was starting to shift around me. Everything was going on. So going through all that for those couple years and then deciding to leave college and go out on my own back in like fall of 2022, I went through a lot of hardships during that time that I now understand I had to go through to become the person that I always wanted to be. I tried a few jobs and roles after I originally left school, from sales jobs to life insurance to affiliate marketing, even co-hosting rental properties. And I did make money doing those things and easily could have continued any one of those routes and found success. But ultimately, I realized none of those careers themselves could make me feel as alive as I do when I create videos. But I also needed to gain the experience of learning how to sell, learning how to lead, learning how to network, and most importantly, learning how to be disciplined with my lifestyle and really better myself. These things showed me that your foundation has to be strong to build anything that stands the test of time in this world. Now, I decided to start working as a server in 2023 for some easy, fast money till I found out what my niche would be in the world of business. I figured if I could even just make a living being authentic to who I am, then that was it to the dream for me. Fast forward to about 3 months ago, I came across a video from a popular real estate media business owner, Eli Jones, on how to scale a real business as a full-time creative and be able to buy back your time so that you don't always have to slave and trade your energy and time for money, but instead put yourself in a position where money flows to you. And at that moment, it's like I had a light bulb go off in my head as I realized that everything I experienced up to this point was for me to finally see the path God laid out for me to follow from the beginning. For me, this was a realization of destiny. I can see now that any anxiety or heavy emotional burdens I carried throughout my life was the real me trying to escape the prison that I built for myself to stay comfortable. A lot of our gifts start to feel like curses when we are constantly placed in environments that aren't authentic to who we are as individuals. So even though it wasn't our fault as children that we were born into a world that makes people robotic slaves to the system and its ideals, it's on us to reassess and rebuild our own narratives outside of everything we've been taught from the external world. This is the biggest reason why entrepreneurship has become such a big part of my life journey, because it allows you to rewrite the narrative of your life instead of letting the world write the script for you. After studying Eli and a few other successful creatives on how to build an ecosystem that allows them to be free and just create for fun, I decided to start a creative business of my own as a photographer and a video creator. I currently operate as a freelancer, but my goal is to scale into a media marketing agency with a full team around me. I know it takes lots of work to build a solo business into an ecosystem. So in this series, I'll be highlighting and documenting everything I learned along this journey and hopefully be able to bring as much value as I can to any creative people out there who feel very misunderstood and don't know their place in the world. This is for you. In this world, there is no life to live without risk involved. This brings us back to that original question of, isn't playing not to lose the same as playing to win? The difference is that truly playing to win erases the fear of losing, because all of your energy is focused on the present moment instead of the price you pay for failure. Before in my life, I wanted to not lose more than I really wanted to win. I was more focused on what everyone around me would think of me if I lost, rather than putting all that energy into the present task at hand. Now that is how you reach your full potential. Lastly, this is my calling to you: to seek discomfort, create instead of always consuming, and most importantly, never let the outer world define who you are within. This is true authenticity. I love each and every one of you, and I want to welcome you to A Hero's Journey. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Let's get it.